Hey, Maxie. Is it me and you, buddy? Are we live here? Are you getting some sun? Hi. Hi, Mr. Maximus. Oh, Mr. Maxie. Hello there, Bruce. Hello there, Joe. Hello there, Bailey. Joe, they have stopped your subscription, your channel membership. Oh, your bank? Hello there, Karma. You you did not cancel it. Okay. I don't know. I guess check on your bank on that. Maybe they think it's some kind of fraud going on, Joe. Who knows? Who knows? Hello, Sydney Cat. Hello, Tranquil. Hope you all are doing well on this Tuesday evening. You don't know, but it says to join. I don't know. Hello there, Philip. How you doing? Uh, Bailey, does broken arm count as major surgery? Maybe, Bailey. Did you have to get it fixed? Like, did you have to get it set? You're stuck at work? Well, it's not a bad thing, Philip, depending on what your work is. Hello, Spence. I'm not sure if I said hello to you. Hope you're doing well today. We got Mr. Maximus here, who's shedding all over the place, as you can see. Hi, Mr. Maximus. You're a good boy. Hello there, D. D, yeah, I wasn't sure. I wanted to say that was yours. I hope that it was yours. But you didn't get back to me on it, but I guess it was yours. So you are absolutely welcome for supporting the bars rescue up there in Canada. Absolutely. Joe, you'll fix it on Wednesday. Oh, no worries. No worries on my end, Joe. Do what you can, you know. I guess sometimes there's just some bank issues, so maybe they think it's fraud or something. Who knows? Hello there, Betty. Bailey, you broke your arm when you were 4. It was in the shape of an S. Oh, goodness. You were in cast for several months. Good times. Good times. Let me check out that poll, actually. Who's had major surgery? About half and half so far. Okay. The reason I am asking that question is some of y'all know that I've had some tummy issues. So it turns out I have some gallstones in my gallbladder. Betty, that's definitely major surgery there, heart surgery for sure. Let me see if I can turn Maximus around here. Instead of looking at his back, you can look at his handsome face. He's a handsome boy. Um, so, like I was saying, I've had some stomach issues, and I had an ultrasound done, and they found a few gallstones. So I'm gonna have my gallbladder removed in about 2.5 weeks now, towards the end of the month. And I have a pleasant colonoscopy this Friday, which I'm very looking forward to very much with a camera up the woohoo, if you will. And yeah, so, one of those things. Karma, your knee was crushed and you had thousands of pieces of bone, wow, floating around, and they needed to do surgery right away, or you could lose your knee due to possible infection. Wow. That is quite something there, Karma. Joe, I think I'll be fine. I agree. It's kind of funny. My wife had her gallbladder removed about a year ago, year and a half, about a year and a few months ago. So I guess I'm joining her club. Hi, Mr. Maximus. Carmen, you also had to have a bone grafted from your hip to replace a bone grafted from your hip to replace the bone that was shattered. Oh, goodness. Had quite a moment there. Bruce, why does Max's fur look brown in sunlight? I don't know. Well, it is kind of a little bit of brown. There is a little bit of color in that. Well, it goes off of that one thing where cats are either black or orange, down to like their genetics. Get right, Mr. Maximus. Sydney Cat, you need to stop eating so many gummy bears. Are you a gummy bear addict there, SC? Joe, you've only had half of your thyroid now. They had to remove the other half, Joe. You had so like some thyroid issues going on. Tranquil, you're saying you're significantly older than most people here, yet you have no health conditions. Well, knock on wood. I hope it stays like that for you, Tranquil. I've definitely had some relatively healthy, but as I get older, I'm falling apart physically. Philip, you broke your arm and wrist in a motorcycle accident, and now have a plate. You now have a plate the third of the length of your forearm. Wow, winter now. I can imagine with like the coldness, right, Philip? Karma, you were on crutches for 6 months. Happened 41 years ago, and still have to deal with walking with it now. Mm. Joe, there was a lump on your thyroid, so they took half. Oh, for like maybe cancer related stuff or just to prevent something like that, Joe? Philip, it goes numb when it reaches a certain temperature, probably like below freezing, I'm assuming. Bailey, very true. If you never go to the doctor, ignorance is bliss, right? Ignorance is bliss. Well, I want to talk a little bit here about Mr. Maxi since he's the one that's on camera right now. Now, Mr. Maxi, for the most part, has hello there, George. Hope you're doing well. Mr. Maximus has been eating fairly well since he was diagnosed with his diabetes. Today, though, he didn't eat a lot of his breakfast, excuse me, and he did not eat a lot of his dinner, so we had to give him like three or four different plates, different options. Now, about a month ago, when we took him in to just kind of retest his blood work and check all of his levels for everything, they did note that some of his teeth, especially some of the back ones, were had some gingivitis on them. So they recommended a dental. But just between him, Rosemary, Zelda, my own health, what we're doing moving wise, just all of that stuff. We had completely forgot about a dental on him altogether. So we're gonna call the vet up tomorrow and get him on the books so he can have a dental. And hopefully, if there is something going on with his teeth, that'll kind of help it because we have noticed on occasion when he chews his food, he kind of chews it off to the side a little bit. So hopefully, and that could also kind of affect his glucose numbers also. Get with me, see Maximus. He's gonna be just fine. Hello there, Chris. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you today. Thank you for joining us. Tranquil, you can work all day and never get tired. It's only on a couple hours sleep. Wow, Tranquil, are you like the Terminator there? We're gonna hang with Max for a good little time here because everybody else is in one room, and obviously Rosemary is out and about. But we're gonna hang with Max for a little bit. I do have just as a heads up, I've been working on a script for a very like in-depth, long diabetic video that goes over a ton of stuff. That goes over symptoms, that goes over like what you're going to expect if you go to the vets. that goes over insulin types, that goes over pills that a cat can take, that goes over diet, that just goes over just a very comprehensive video. I'm almost done with writing the script. I just got to get some footage of Max and probably Zelda because, those are the two diabetic kitties. So hopefully I will have that video out in the next maybe 2 or 3 days, if not maybe the weekend. It's going to be a longer video, I think. So hopefully it'll help a lot of people because one thing I don't see on YouTube is a ton of diabetic cat related videos. They're either very old or they're just like from vets, which I understand, but I think, just having personal experience as just a cat parent, I think it might be informative and eye-opening to a lot of pet parents and cat parents that are out there. So just something to keep an eye on in the future. Tranquil, your diet is mostly veggies and very little animal products. Well, I might have to change my diet, Tranquil, after I get my gallbladder removed. I will admit I probably don't eat as healthy as I should. I got a sweet tooth and I love my dairy products. I have my cheese I like. Chocolate milk is like its own food group to me. Donuts. So I do have a bit of a sweet tooth, so it's going to be a bit of a change. Bruce, yes, I do have I'm going to have on that video also how to check the blood sugar level. I'm going to have a demonstration on, excuse me, on how to check how to do a glucose check at home. So that's on there also. Oh, for sure, Philip. Don't you just love cheese? And I pretty much like all the cheese except for like the stinky cheeses, like blue cheese. Those are like nasty to me. Karma, it's easy to say everything in moderation, and I do mostly everything else in moderation. I mean, the only really vice that I have in life is food wise is just dairy products. Um, that's just how it is for me. We all have a vice. I mean, at least my vice is, I guess, relatively speaking, relatively healthy. Bruce, you're a big soda drinker. How much soda do you drink? Do you have like a favorite type of soda? I don't think I could eat goat cheese, Karma. I think goat cheese. I think I've had it before. It just doesn't taste the same. Those who drink soda on the chat here, do you all have a favorite soda? I think for me it would be probably Dr. Pepper. I think. My wife hates Dr. Pepper, but there's just something about Dr. Pepper, the medicine-y taste. I just like a good cold Dr. Pepper. But I really don't drink much soda. I mean, I'd be lucky to drink like a 2 liter in a month, I would say. Bruce, the cheap ones from Walmart. Cat Friends, Bailey, Coke Zero, and Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Nice. Sydney Cat, you only drink is that LaCroix? LaCroix? I can never say that name properly. I've had the lemon lime one. That's not too bad. Thank you there, Danielle, for that $10 super chat. I appreciate it, friend. Hope you're doing well, Danielle. Danielle, do you have a favorite soda? Or do you have like a food vice, something that you just have to eat, even if it's not good for you, maybe? Carmen, you never drink soda, too much sugar. Philip, you're with me on the Dr. Pepper and Sprite. Root beer. Root beer is good, Bruce. Like Bars root beer or A&W root beer is pretty good. Tranquil Diet Coke is your obsession. Chris, yours is chocolate. Any kind of chocolate in particular, Chris? Like white chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, or just all chocolate? Uh, Bruce, I think you gifted me a membership, which is pretty darn funny, I must say. So I am a member of my own channel now. Well, at least Bruce, you know I'm going to use it. But I don't know if I'm going to keep it after the month. I will be honest, but I might. We'll see. But that is pretty funny. Oh, wait a minute. No, it wasn't me. It was okay. It was Bailey. She was gifted the membership. Okay. I thought it was me for whatever reason. It's like, huh? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, it's Bailey. That works. All right, Bailey, you are a member again. You can use those custom emojis. We do have a new one with the baby. We got like 8 altogether now. So enjoy the membership and enjoy the perks, Bailey. There are a few additional channel like member only videos that I've made. Dark chocolate is the healthier for sure. Dark chocolate is the best. Chris, you just ate a whole bag of chocolate pretzels. Oh man, Max, you are shedding. Look at all this fur, Max. You would think, well, summertime is coming. Man, Max, you are shedding something crazy, boy. You are a shedding monster. But besides Max is his not eating well today, and him probably needing to have a dental. Overall, he's doing fairly well. Uh, his neuropathy though is definitely tough to watch. It's a tough thing to watch him kind of struggling with his feet, with his walking, I should say. Um, but it seems like he's getting a little bit better. Hello there, Farmer Hannah. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. You get a little purr going on here. See if you can hear it. Joe, to answer your question, I don't think so because we check his feet pretty much every day. Because unfortunately he is because is dragging his back feet a little bit. He's kind of getting his feet into some poop and some pee and litter. So we have to clean off his toes every so often, which he does not like at all. But yeah. Philip, what kind of treatments can have for that? So, Philip, as far as the neuropathy goes that are affecting the back feet, the biggest thing is just getting his diabetes regulated, which we're in the process of doing. Once we get him like a diabetic cat is always they're always going to have like higher glucose numbers, but once they can kind of get between like 100 to 300 like for a 12-hour period, that's considered like good regulation, and um that'll help lower the neuropathies. Because what happened is like when the blood sugar is so high, it what it does, it affects the cells. It kind of damages the cells that are in the feet, and because they're damaged, it just causes weakness. It causes loss of balance. It causes, excuse me, the wobbliness. So it's just the best thing is just getting the number down. Now there is a supplement called Zobaline, which is vitamin B. Vitamin B kind of helps promote healthy cell growth again. So that's kind of what we've been giving him for a little while now too. So then, Spence, to answer your question, yes, it does affect his balance. I will see before I leave Maximus here and go on to kind of show off the other kitties so y'all can see the other cats. I will see if he can walk for you a little bit, just so you can kind of get a visual of what I'm talking about. Yes, Joe, we can do. Hello there, Slim Shady. Hope you're doing well. We can do little exercises. So what I've been doing is just like this, because another thing is weakness also. So I can feel like his back legs to me, they feel very light. They just don't feel that heavy compared to like when I lift up his front. They have this has like more weight to it. Um, so he's losing some muscle mass back here. So what I do, Joe, I've been doing like this. I just like in and out just to kind of get the muscles like working, right? So, we've been doing like this. I've done like 10, 15 at a time. Now, as long as he's okay with it, he looks a little grumpy, like, what in the world are you doing to me right now? Thankfully, he doesn't like growl or hiss or try to do anything crazy to me. And then I'll just do like the other leg. I'll just get them moving a little bit. So we'll do like a little, just a little leg movement with him. Now, if he didn't freak out with water, and if he did okay with water, most cats just hate water. They just get crazy when it comes to water. I would actually put him in the bathtub. I would stand him up on his hind legs, and I'd have him kind of, kick his back legs like little water aerobics, right? But I don't think that would work for him. Now, what I could do is get like it's like a ball almost. On one side it's smooth, and then the other side it has like little prongs almost, like little sticky things that you can kind of have the cat kind of balance or kind of use their back legs just to kind of push up and down on. So there's a few things that we have. Joe, you'll email me tomorrow about some things. Okay. All right. Feel free to. And as some of you also know, those of you, I've said this in a few community posts, but I do mean it sincerely. I know Philip has participated in this. If anybody obviously has kitties that they want to share with the community, but they don't have like any content, they don't have, they don't have like a YouTube channel that they have any content with, and they want to share their cats with the community, feel free to email me. The email is just in the channel's description. I'm always loving to kind of like post all the community members' cats. They could be past or present. I just feel like something like that is really a cool thing to do. And yeah, so there's always, always looking for people if they want to share their kitties with the community. I'm more than willing to post them up there. And because this is a cat community, I want everybody to feel like involved and important, and that they are matter with this community that we are growing day by day. Let's see. Send some pics. Okay. And then whoever else, I can't remember if anybody else sent me any pictures recently. I know Philip did. I know Sue S did. I think that's it as far as I know. Joe, that's a good question. D, you'll send some pictures? Awesome. I look forward to it, D. As far as a move, Joe, so right now, because of my surgery and because me and my wife, we can't make up our minds on what we're doing in life, right now we are just going to hold in North Carolina where we're at right now. And actually, once I'm done with my surgery and once I'm recovered from that, I'm actually looking into, and Bruce, you're going to laugh at this because we talked about this a couple times, is I'm actually looking to get back into the animal world and maybe do like vet assist and maybe eventually like become a vet technician. I have to go through school for that. But I think that's what I'm looking at right now. That's what I'm looking at doing, getting back into animal care, but getting into veterinarian assists and eventually maybe technician stuff. The only bad thing about that is we might explode from 9 cats to like 15 cats or something. So that is something I am a little worried about because I have brought a few cats home here over the past 20 years or so. Chris, I didn't miss your question. Is Max sleeping a lot? Chris, I would say he's not sleeping any more than normal. Now we have been giving him gabapentin though, because that's another thing that can help with neuropathy is the gabapentin. It can kind of just, because it's kind of like a pain medication. So it can kind of help just kind of chill them out. And if they are having any pain, they'll just kind of relax a little bit more. So he's might been a little bit more sleepy with that, but nothing unusual. And he hasn't been like hiding or anything, which is good. Bruce saying you're made for it. Joe is born for it. Philip, wish you the best of luck with that. Yeah, it's just something I gotta at least give a try. All right, let me, we're going to start to switch over, but let me see if I can get Maximus to walk a little bit for y'all, just so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't want to move him too much, but let me just kind of get him up off this table. And you're okay, Mr. Maxie. You're okay, buddy. You're okay. You gonna walk? Maxie. Come here, Max. Maxie. Maximus. Oh, Maxie. No, you're like, I'm just gonna lay. Maxie. You smell my foot? Oh, you Maximus. All right, so I don't think he's gonna walk for us at the moment. But you can just kind of see how, like, loosey-goosey these back feet are. Hi, Maximus. Hello there, NPP. Hope you're doing well. You gonna move a little bit now, Max? Yeah, just a couple steps. So it was very quick, but you might have saw him kind of, be very, walking flat-footed, basically. And that is so difficult to watch. As a pet parent here, man, it's difficult to see. D, you wish you could get into a vet program, but you are partially paralyzed from. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, D. Well, I mean, you can. I don't know. D, I'll have to think about that. I'm not sure. Sorry to hear that, though, D. Excuse me. Bruce, yeah, I think one of his feet, it's a little bit worse than the other. Like I said, though, it's just really difficult to watch. And the thing that truly kind of stinks is only like 10% of diabetic cats develop this neuropathy. And unfortunately, he was part of that 10%. And what's even harder to kind of see, or I mean, get a little, yeah, he'll just take a couple steps and then he'll sit down. Out of the 10%, only about 30 to 40% ever fully recover. So it could be just something that he deals with for the rest of his life. Hopefully it never gets bad enough where like he's unable to walk at all. Then if so, we'll have to obviously figure something out. Because it can paralyze eventually, but hopefully it won't come to that. All right, well, we're going to say goodbye to Mr. Maxie for now. He's looking a little perturbed. He's like, I've dealt with you enough, humans, so go away now. I need to have my alone time in this room. All right, Maxie. You gonna eat some food? Eat some of your diabetic dry food? Is it tasty? Good boy. All right, Maxie. Eat your food, honey. Eat some of that diabetic dry food, buddy. Don't have to worry about you escaping. All right, let's see what's going on in this other room. All of these lazy bums over here. Yoda. I will say, because our first tuxedo, who passed away when he was just 5, um, of feline leukemia. Now, our second oldest tuxedo, if you will, Maximus, he developed diabetes. We are worried about, what might happen with Yoda and with Tiny. Yoda's not exactly a small cat. So he's kind of chunky himself. He's not as chunky as Tiny is, obviously, but he's still there a little bit. But, we do worry a little bit as far as Yoda's health down the road. He's about 8 or so, and Tiny's like 3, but Tiny's like 18 pounds, so it is a bit concerning. Kind of go check on Zelda there for a second. Let me check on the chat. Joe, not Norman, no. The little boy. The little boy was 5. Norman passed away of congestive heart failure. Hi, Kit. What's up? Tang. Gonna kind of circle on Zelda here for a little bit. We can watch her drinking that water. Hello there, RS. Hope you're doing well. Whenever I look at Zelda, it always amazes me that this 20-year-old cat has had diabetes for 10 plus years, and she's just chugging along. I mean, she's just got the secret sauce apparently in her DNA. She needs to teach Max, some of her secrets to such longevity. Kit, hi. I know, you're a good kid. Karma, we've had Zelda since she was 6 months old. So that's like, what, 19 and a half years? So a long time. Yeah, Bruce, Zelda's doing good. She pooped earlier, and like I said, she's just the cat that keeps on going. Eventually she'll pass on, of course, but she just keeps on going somehow. NPP, do I pre-schedule your lives? NPP, on occasion I do. Yes, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. How about yourself? RS, you went to the gym and you did bicep cable curls at 50 kilograms. 50 kilograms, what is that, like 150 pounds or something? I'm going to flip the camera over, so don't be shocked when you see me, but I got to just show something here real quickly. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so we got the baby here. I guess my hair is a little messy. My hair is always messy. Hair is always terrible, but it's what happens when I sit down. I got this one lording over me. Baby. She's done this pretty much all of my life. If she wasn't when she was younger, she was crawling up my pants or trying to. And now I'm boring her. Bruce, is this my back massager? Maybe. But I just wanted to show her. Come on. No, you're not going to come off me? Oh. Are you going to hide now? Hi, baby. Yes, literally, you have the weight of your shoulder when you have these felines. They never leave the home. You can't claim them as dependents. It's terrible. All right, let me switch the camera back over again. If it's going to switch back over. Okay. Get. Hi, kid. Hi, baby. Hi, yes, I know, baby. You got to get off of me now, honey. You're not going to, are you? You're going to still just be up there. Hey, Zelda. How you doing, Zelda? Come on. All right. Let's flip that back over. There we go. Hey, kid. NPP, do you schedule any lives yourself, or you just go live when you go live kind of thing? Yeah, the cats don't do much with that fish. They just kind of look at it. NPP, you would go to, do you set up your lives, NPP, through your cell phone? Tranquil, I'm sorry to hear that your mom is not doing well. Hi, Mr. Orange. We'll see a little bit of orange here. So, NPP, when you go and schedule your lives on your phone, when you go down, you can put like a thumbnail in it, right? And then you put the title, right? And then you kind of scroll down a little bit. There should be something on like the left side where it says schedule, like schedule in advance or something, or just schedule. And if you click that, a calendar will pop up so you can pick a date, and then a clock will pick up so you can then pick a time. And that's how I do it. I know, baby. You just want all the attention, don't you? You're a very greedy little kitty cat. Oh, you orangey. Dee, sorry to hear about your mother. You just lost your father, Dee, a month ago. Dee, I'm sorry to hear that your dad passed on there. And my dad passed away about 11 years ago now, I think. NPP, yes, you will. You'll look for that. Do you set them up for monetization before they start? Yeah, and that's another thing that you can do also, NPP. Yeah, so there's like a little toggle on and off for monetizing the video, and I just always just click it on. I am curious though, NPP. I want to try maybe in the future to not monetize a live, but see if you still get a super. Because I'm wondering if you monetize, is it like, I'm not going to get too much into YouTube stuff. I just got something I'm thinking about, though, and I'll have to figure out. Hello there, Steph. Look out the window. There's a bunch of deer. Hold on. Oh, let me see. Let me show y'all some wildlife, hopefully, here. Give me a second. Let me get over. Let me see if I can zoom this in. That's going to make it worse. There. You might be able to see those deer. I think you can. I can see them. Hopefully you can. It's going to be a little grainy, though, because it's through the screen. Bye, RS. So that's a pretty relatively common sight. Wait a minute, we're there. There they are. Relatively common sight for us out where we are, because we're kind of surrounded by woods and farmland and stuff like that. So I think the most we've probably seen was maybe like 5 or 6. Let me see if I can still spot them. I think they're moving. I think there we are. Kind of see them a little bit there. Hello there, Cersei. We're just looking at some deer, Cersei, out in our backyard. They're kind of frolicking around a little bit. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if we can see. Yeah, we can still kind of see them there in the middle of the screen or so. Just a little bit. Yeah, there's one right there. But yeah, there's a tiny little pond. Lots of frogs that are out there. There's another one coming over. Yeah, we get deer, we get obviously hawks, birds, cardinals. We get whatchamacallit. Uh, Obviously we have some snakes here. A whole bunch of stuff. An owl, yeah. Bruce, I don't know if I've seen any bucks in the backyard. I think I've mostly just seen the deer. So, deer are one of those like just magical like animals, like very majestic. All right, I think that's it for now. I can't see anything else, so we'll go back to the mini deer here. You can see like Tang here. He's quite a wild creature. I don't think Tang would last about more than 2 minutes outside, out in the real world. Sorry, Tang. I know I'm making fun of you there somewhat, but I think you would be, you would be, I think that the hawks would get you. Hi, you have an eyeball. Tang was an outside cat? Well, he was only like a baby, though. Oh, I'm going to get the belly of the beast, though, now. Now we're going to get you. I know, now you're going to bite me. All right, let's check out Pandora for a little bit. I haven't shown her yet much. Tiny's under the bed, and I just don't feel like getting on my knees again at the moment. Oh, hey, Whites. Pandora. 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 What is it, Whites? Ma. Ma. This is what happens, though. When I pay attention to Pandora, I'm going to flip the camera over again. This is... The baby gets jealous, and she's got to, like, lay right next to me. I'm giving Pandora some attention, and the baby, who gets very jealous, has to always be, like, right where the attention is. They got one of those, sibling rivalry type of things, even though they're not sisters, but they're basically sisters. Oh. Hey, baby. Hey, Tang. You doing some spring cleaning over there, buddy? Yeah, my harem. Yeah, exactly. Yes, Joe, my harem. You doing some yoga, Tang? Tang, at one point in time, I could stretch my legs out like that, but that's been a long time ago when I was maybe like a teenager. I could pose like that, Yoda. Or not Yoda, Tang. It's been a while. Carmen, you're going through the jealousy stage with Pukey Bear and Sugar. Hi, Zeus. All right, let's go ahead. We got about 15 minutes here or so, about that hour mark. You know, eventually I might make these a little bit longer. Eventually, especially maybe on the weekend, maybe a couple hours. But I think on the weekend I'm going to stick with these two, though, or this 1 hour, I should say. But let's say goodbye to all of these kitty cats, and we're going to go down and see what the little gremlin, little Rosemary, see what she's doing. So we'll say goodbye to these kitties, and we'll check out Rosemary. Right, Tang? You be a good little gorgy orgy. Get a little orange. All right, Rosemary, you buy the chicken probably. Yeah. All right, so this looks like a familiar scene recently. Obviously, I did a few shorts when Rosemary just decides to plop herself in the pan. Most people think it's cute or funny, or they understand that, yes, even though a cat is in a pan, we can always just wash the pan. You know, soap and water is an amazing thing. Some people don't quite seem to understand that, but that's okay. Oh, NPP, we've done shorts. Yeah, we've done a few shorts like this. They get a lot of views for sure, and they definitely get a lot of interesting conversation. I'll just say it at that. So yeah, the potatoes, exactly. I think the potatoes went up since she is a potato fiend for sure. Oh, Joe, it doesn't make me feel bad. NPP, you heading out? Or somebody's heading out? I don't know. I see somebody saying goodbye to somebody. So if anybody is leaving, bye bye. If you are leaving, NPP or Bruce, but I don't think anybody is, but I'm not sure. NPP used the song. I'm just sitting here watching the time tick by, or time tick away. I can try it. I can definitely try it. It's the heat for her. So, you know, we cooked on this earlier with chicken, and it's probably still like has a little bit of warmth. I'm gonna move her just a smidge. Oop, sorry, honey. Didn't want to move you that much. Hi. Lay back down. Do you agree? Yeah, the difference between a cat parent and a cat owner for sure. I'm gonna do more shorts like that. Like to me, like differences between cat parents and cat owners. Like so, another one I have in mind is let's say like a cat is peeing outside of the litter box, and I think too many cat owners they'll just say you know they'll deal with it for a short period of time, but then eventually they'll just like abandon the cat or just give it away, put it in a shelter, that kind of stuff. Whereas I feel like a cat parent, if they see that, you know, maybe not the first time, but after the second or third time, they're going to think like, hey, what's going on with this kitty? What's going on here? And, you know, we're going to take you to the vet and get you treated, because most of the time, not always, but most of the time, you know, if a cat is peeing outside of the litter box, it's either one, a medical issue going on with them, urinary tract infection, some other diseases are potential, excuse me, or two, it's behavioral, i.e., like a dirty litter box or not enough litter boxes, stuff like that, typically. Joe, excuse me, Jake did it. He had crystals, like myself, I'm saying that right. Cystitis, inflammation. Hi, honey. Ruined carpet, so then stopped when you stopped work. Hmm. Yeah, Joe. I'm terrible at pronouncing things. I know it's inflammation and it's crystals, like kidney crystals or stuff like that. I'll just say that. Oops, sorry, honey, I popped your nose. Cersei, you had a cat that had litter box trauma as a baby. He was very fluffy and hated being cleaned. So we put a vinyl runner next to the box and went on that. So yeah, it's like whatever, whatever it takes kind of thing. Hi, honey. I know like off of the other like um channel that we've done the live stream with, the I Am Raven channel with Shelly. I mean, I know she knows this kind of the same thing. I mean, she's got a few of her kitties that just, I think it's Moon, I want to say, that just will not pee in a litter box, or poop. And it's just one of those things. You just accept it and you just move on. I mean, it's just part of it. It's just part of the process. It's just part of, what's going on. I mean, it's like you're just gonna throw away a cat or a dog just because they're having some kind of issue. It's like that's just terrible to me. I will say one little thing that kind of bounces or kind of piggybacks off of this a smidge. So I'm sure I think most of you saw that like little I guess tribute video, I guess if you will, to the Happy Cat Sanctuary, right? That I did a few days ago. And I had one person comment saying, like, it's just an animal. I wouldn't go back and save any of those animals. And we kind of had like a little back and forth conversation. And it deteriorated quickly, unfortunately, because I was trying to like have a conversation with the person, and I just felt like wanted to kind of scream their points, their opinions at me, basically, kind of saying like, hey, you probably wouldn't do that to like a homeless person. If there was like a homeless person on the street, you wouldn't try to save them, but an animal you would. And it's like, really? You're crazy. Hello there, Rosemary, hope you're doing well. So I just stopped having a conversation with them because I just kind of learned pretty quickly within a few kind of back and forth comments that they're not actually interested in having any kind of actual like real adult conversation. They just wanted to kind of have their tantrum, if you will, and you just kind of move on. But I'm always like willing to have conversations with people who disagree with something I say or with something they may see on one of these videos. Because to me, it's like that could maybe change a person's mind frame. Part of this channel's like mission, besides obviously just helping cats in need with the donations, is changing mind frames and changing hearts. And whew, that's difficult. People are pretty darn stuck on their opinions, and it takes, I feel like, a heck of a lot to change them, if change at all is possible, unfortunately. But and then I know like the community. I don't know if Philip is still in here or not, but kind of when you're saying it's still alive, Rosemary, the human Rosemary there. He was like he saved those four kittens that were kind of out on the street from with the mama cat, and people were saying, why did you do that? It's just a cat, and like he was saying, well, it's still a life. I mean, you may think it's just a cat, quote unquote, just a cat, but it's still life, and it's still valuable. And it's still important. Thank you, Cersei, for the $2 super there. I appreciate it. But anyways, Uh, Karma, some people just like to argue, or some people can't learn to agree to disagree, and you can't change a person's behavior or opinions. No, You can't probably, but you know what? I'm just stubborn and just stupid enough, I guess, just to keep on trying, though. You know, to change hearts and minds. And then the other point that I was trying to make to the person, because, you know, he was talking about like homeless people. And I'm like, well, the big difference between a homeless person and, say, like an animal, a cat or a dog, I'm going to move away a little bit because Rosemary's doing some cleaning. I don't want to, you know, catch that too much. A human can, if they're homeless, they can kind of, you know, with help, obviously, they can kind of pick themselves up. They can kind of, you know, help themselves a little bit, or they can get help through organizations, through groups, through stuff like that. There are ways to do this. An animal, though, is 100% reliant on the kindness of humans, right? You know, and humans, in a way, are kind of partly reliant on the kindness of other humans, but animals are completely reliant on it. They don't have any options. They can't like go, you know, and get assistance. They can't like go down the road and go knock on a social security door or go knock on a welfare door or go knock on some door. I mean, they can't do anything. So why they're mistreated, I just don't understand. Hey, buddy. Hey, Rosie. All right, let me check on the time. We got about, okay, so we got a few minutes still here. Bruce, as far as Rosemary having the thyroid treatment, for now, we're still holding on that because we just are too concerned about her having to go off the medication for like 2 weeks or so. And her weight is just too low, we feel. I mean, she's only still like 5.5 pounds or not 5.5, like 5.2 pounds or so, 5.3 pounds. And our concern is if she goes off of it for like 1 to 2 weeks, you know, is there going to be anything left of her? I don't mean like seriously, but, you know, is she going to get down to like 4.5 pounds or something? And that's just too concerning for us at the moment. She yo-yos back and forth with the hyperthyroidism medication, the filamazole, and it's not a cure, of course, but for the most part, we feel like she has her ups and downs, but it seems like overall it's manageable um, with the medication still. So at the moment, that is on hold. If we could ever somehow just get this cat to weigh about 6 pounds or so, we would do it. Or if we could like pull fat out of Tiny, right? Out of like her butt, basically, because she's got a big butt, and put it into this one's butt, you know, because you can see her butt. Her butt is scrawny. She got a scrawny little butt. Hello there, Elizabeth. Hope you're doing well. Um, you know, we'll get to that point. Thank you for the super karma. Rosemary, to answer your question, what is the most she has weighed? About I want to say it like maybe 5.8 pounds or so. And that was maybe last year or the year before sometime. And we didn't even think of it. I think at that time, we probably didn't even know about that iodine therapy or iodine treatment for her thyroid back then.
She was hypo at the time.
I do to see that in chat. But anyways, Bruce, appreciate the $2 super. Thank you, friend. D, people don't realize that our purpose in life is to take care of the animals and look after the earth. But many have lost that understanding. D, that was part of what that person was saying. He was talking about like humans having kind of dominance over animals, like, you know, animals are underneath humans. And to me, I think that humans are supposed to be stewards of the planet and stewards of animal life. And unfortunately, that seems like that's definitely gone south very quickly. And we like to just dominate everything as the human race instead of just being good stewards instead. It's like this whole, to me, like whole ownership versus a parent. You're not an owner of a cat or a dog or anything. You don't own them. You're a you're a parent, or I like the word kahoo because it means like steward, guardian, caretaker, those kind of words. It's much better. So, but anyways, it is, yeah, she is a small cat. Who said she's a tiny cat? Yeah, Joe, I think she's always been small. Um, Hello there, Jaden. Hope you're doing well. Yes, Rosemary fits in this pan. Yes, for sure. But anyways, I got to get going. It is about that hour. I do appreciate the last hour or so chatting and hanging out with y'all for this last hour. Thank you. A special thanks for. Let me try to remember all the supers. I'm sorry if I have a bad memory here. Karma, Bruce, Cersei, and Danielle. Thank you all for the supers. Much appreciated as always. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. God bless. Take care. Remember, if you're going to adopt a senior kitty, real quickly before I go, I think most of you know, and most of you still going to hang on here for just a quick second. The two sponsored cats that the community sponsored. One, the senior cat, Honey Bunny, she got adopted, which I left in the community post. The second thing I wanted to say, though, Habanero. Habanero was the other cat that the community sponsored from Safe Haven. I found out a little bit more information about him because I get some information from the communication person through them. Habanero is apparently not HIV. Well, basically it's HIV for cats. He's FIV positive, which means it's basically like human AIDS. So, because of that, the place said that they were going to take their time in finding an adopter, whatever. Find the right human for Habanero, somebody that has like experience with FIV cats, because what they don't want to do is have somebody come in and say, "Hey, we want to adopt Habanero," but they have like no experience with FIV kitties. Not FIP, Joe, FIV. Different. It's a different disease. So they said they're going to wait until the right person who has experience with these type of cats comes and checks him out and then thinks about adopting him. Because I think that if somebody else comes and they're like, yeah, we want to do this, we know what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. 2 weeks later or 2 months later, they're like, we can't handle this. This cat's always sick. We don't know what to do. We're going to either like dump him, or we're going to just abandon him, or we're going to try to put him down. And they don't want that to happen, obviously. So I just wanted to give you all just that kind of that heads up on that. Hopefully, sometime in the future, I'll say, "Hey, Habanero has been adopted," and but it might take a little while because of his disease, his special needs with being FIP positive. Anyways, on that note, I hope you all have a good rest of your night, and we'll see Rosemary half glass and half not glass. And all right, I think I talked myself hoarse a little bit here. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. God bless, take care, adopt a senior kitty, and always speak up for those who cannot. And until next time, I'll see you later. Yeah, bye-bye. Oh, thank you, Cersei, for that last super. All right, bye, all.